We're going to go ahead and get our meeting started, our community update. And so this is the first one for 2021. So we want to say thank you for all joining us. Just a few housekeeping rules. This particular session will be recorded. And so we will also send out a link so you'll be able to go back to view this particular meeting on today and share with your family and friends and loved ones. Also, we encourage all of our attendees to post questions to the Q&A box or the chat function down at the bottom of your toolbar. Now, I would like to invite our chairwoman, Terry Attaway, to go ahead and welcome us in.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lachelle. I'd like to thank all of you who have joined our session today. Guys, I've had the pleasure of serving on the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners since 1998, and I've been chairwoman since 2010. So during this time, it's been amazing to see all the different changes and things that we've gone through. When I started, our goal was to change the face of public housing. I think we've been successful in doing that. I came to volunteer work at the Housing Authority through my career, which was mortgage, title, and real estate sales in affordable housing. So you know what, I want to tell you that when I was asked to join this board, I really didn't know jack crap about public housing. How about that? All I knew, I heard housing and I thought it was buying homes, which is what I was used to. Boy, did I learn a lot. But I've been passionate ever since I've been here and excited for all the changes that we've made. We've had really strong support from our regional HUD office, which helped us to transition from a traditional public housing model late last year. You may have heard of RAD, the Rental Demonstration Assistance Program. So we've done that. We've now closed all three of Fort Worth's former red brick housing communities, right? So we're really proud of that. We've helped those residents in all those places relocate to homes of their choice in areas of higher opportunity with better access to jobs, good schools, and transportation. We call this deconcentrating poverty. Our model has been never to have a whole group of lower income people in one area. So I'm really proud that we have now 40 different places across the city, located in every city council district in Fort Worth. I don't know anybody else in the nation who's actually done that. We really lead the nation in housing agencies of what we've done here. We've had partners to help us develop all modern, mixed income, multifamily communities, all right, for people across the city. We're really excited about that. We provide our clients opportunities to increase their education, their technical skills, and provide financial literacy so that they can move towards self-sufficiency. We also have a home ownership program that helps our residents buy homes. We celebrate people doing these things every single year. None of this would have been possible without support from our community-oriented 5-member board of commissioners. So I just want to take a minute to tell you about this group of people. Included beside myself is our vice chair, who was a homeowner association president in the TCU area. And now I'm so proud to say that he's joined our board and been supporting us for a long time. We have a past developer and city council person. We have a gentleman who is a commercial lender locally. And we have our resident commissioner, who is a young lady under 30, really proud of her. She's a single mom, but she just got an economics degree and she now owns her own business, all doing this from the support and things that she's learned through Housing Solutions, which, by the way, that was the reason for the name change. I'm proud of that as well, because we were not just a traditional housing agency. I found that we really provided solutions for housing, and therefore, some people want to know, why did we change that name? Because we do more than just a traditional housing agency. So I'm just taking this minute while I've got the mic. Thank you, Lachelle. And I want to say that I'm so grateful for our staff. We couldn't do this without our great president and CEO, and Mary Margaret Lemons and her staff, Brian Dennison over our Senior Vice President of Development, and so many other people, Lachelle and her whole office and what all they do. So I won't name more names because I'd be here all day, but I just want you to know that these people are incredible. So you wonder why we are able to do what we do? Because we work together, board and staff, for our residents to make Fort Worth a better place to live. Um, it's exciting how far we've come. Since 1998, any of you that were around back in the day, when I first came, Ripley Arnold was our first housing complex that we sold. We used that money to leverage it from 400 units to about 4,000 units, and we've kept going. Serving that many families. We now serve about 7,000 families, and it's still going. So anyway, we're here to talk about the great Stop Six Choice Neighborhood Grant today, which so proud of everything we've done to this point. Thank you for all of you that are on this call today. We couldn't do it without our stakeholders, without our community support, and all of you. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for Lachelle. Let's go forward with the meeting.
Thank you, Chairwoman Attaway, for the history of Fort Worth Housing Solutions and have as we evolve. And so next we'll have our housing update, and Lou Bernardi, who is the Senior VP and Director of Development for McCormick Barron Salazar. I'll pass the mic over to him as he speaks of the housing update.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much, and good. Excuse.
You're on mute.
How about there? Thank you. Well, let me try again. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very pleased for the opportunity to provide an update on behalf of McCormick Barron Salazar and Fort Worth Housing Solutions, and to report the status of the clearing of the Cabell Public Housing site, as well as to talk a little bit about our progress toward the implementation of 2 of our 6 mixed income housing developments under the Choice Neighborhood Housing Plan. As I'm sure many of you have noticed, there's been significant progress on the abatement and demolition at Cabell. As of the end of last week, the removal of asbestos-containing materials has been completed in all of the buildings. 50 of the buildings have been demolished and debris is being removed from the site. The demolition of 12 residential buildings and the administration building is underway, is in progress. In addition, we've been able to remove some underground storage tanks that were discovered on lots adjacent to the site, and they've been removed. And many of you have probably seen that work as you've driven by the site. We expect to see the site fully cleared by the end of April, and fenced and completely fenced and secured as we continue to do our planning for the housing developments that will occur in the site. Just as a reminder, per the master development plan for the Choice Neighborhood implementation, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th phases of housing as part of that plan, totaling about 565 new housing units, apartments and townhome buildings, along with a series of site amenities and certainly the building of the community hub will all be constructed on the former Cabell Public Housing site. So all looking forward to continuation of this work. And just as another reminder, we are having the contractor salvage and clean a number of those red bricks that were being removed from Cabell as keepsakes for folks in the community and former residents and other stakeholders who would like to keep them as a memento, a keepsake, their memories of Cabell. Next slide, please. You see here's just one photo of a lot of debris, which I hope will be gone soon. Next slide. Just as a part of our project and our process here, in terms of contracting goals for this abatement and demolition scope of work, we're pleased to be able to report that participation by minority and women-owned firms and the hiring of Section 3 qualified individuals exceeded the goals that were established for the contract. Although the goal for Section 3 businesses was not realized, that participation was not realized, primarily due to the relatively small size of this particular contract. Several local area businesses that you see listed here were able to be subcontracted and perform work on the project. So we're very happy about that and see that as a real positive sign in terms of going forward with our next larger multifamily development phases and the opportunities for participation in that work by Section 3 businesses. Next slide, please. Cowen Place, as you all know, as we have reported several times in the past, is the first of 6 phases of development under the CNI housing plan that will be constructed. It will consist of 174 apartments, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for seniors, elderly households 62 years and older. As part of the development plan, 48 of the apartments are reserved for former residents of Cabell Place, and the development will be 100% affordable for low-income households. Next slide, please. We've updated our timeline for the project. We have been able successfully to receive the bond reservation and the reservation of low-income housing tax credits from the state, both of which are critically important to our ability to raise private capital for the construction and completion of the project. We're working on pulling together our final plans, specifications for the project, get our bids in from contractors, and complete our financial closing late June so that we commence work in early July. We expect to be able to be done with the project by February 2023, but we'll be commencing with pre-leasing during the last quarter of 2022. So that's a quick snapshot and update of the Cowen Place development. I'll move on to Hughes House, which is the next slide. Hughes House is phase 2 of the CNI housing plan. You can see on the right side a site plan that we're currently working with and refining with our development team and our design team. The development, as many of you probably already have heard, will be named in honor to honor the legacy of Coach Robert Hughes Sr. We're very pleased about that and looking forward to be able to complete the design and be in a position to start that project soon. The development will consist of mixed income. It will be a mixed use development, 210 new apartments and townhome buildings and approximately 12,000 square feet of commercial space. The site plan and building design work is currently underway and is in refinement. And our application requesting an allocation of tax credits is currently under review by the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. So we're looking forward to that application being approved and tax credits being awarded so that we can commence the construction work for Hughes House in the second quarter of 2023. So that is a brief and hopefully informative update. And certainly I'm available to answer any questions at the appropriate time during today's meeting.
go ahead if you have any questions about Cowen Place, Choose House, even the Cavill demo. Go ahead and jump in with your questions either in the chat box or the Q&A before we move on. And Kristen, you'll have to guide us. You do have a question.
I don't see any questions now, and we will take questions at the end of the presentations as well.
All righty, so now we'll pass it on to Victor for our neighborhood updates.
Good afternoon. So we will provide you a brief update of what we've been doing lately in regards to critical community improvements, as well as the neighborhood hub, but we'll talk about a little later. Over the past 2 years, we've had an extensive process of engaging the community, starting with the transformation plan that was done in 2019 and submission to HUD for our choice neighborhood. And since then, we've been having regular updates and community meetings. And most recently, we engaged the Urban Land Institute, a technical assistance panel that was here in February to help us with recommendations regarding critical community improvements to revise our neighborhood plan. Next. From those recommendations from ULI, we were informed that some of the best use of space would be at the Hughes House, which we could have several different resources available, including medical, indoor farmers market, and also a transportation hub. So we could use that 12,000 square feet of available space to address some of the needs in the community, to address healthcare in the food desert and transportation or mobility issues. Also, it was recommended that we support some of the community gardens in the area, or to create an urban farm to help supply the farmers market and also address the food needs in the area. As part of that, a farmers market and a food truck pavilion were proposed that could be utilized on some of the space at the future hub or other vacant space in the neighborhood. And then the commercial facade improvement program would be to improve the appearance of some of the commercial buildings in the Stop 6 area. So that would be an enhancement of the city's current facade improvement program to address those needs. Next. This is just a rendering of, already talked about mixed use development at Amanda and Rosedale. And so this is just another rendering of that. Next slide. That space I was telling you about, you can see the mixed use for medical, restaurant, potential restaurant, coffee shop, transit center, entrepreneurial center. So some of the things that could be utilized in that commercial space at Amanda and Rosedale. Next. This is just a photo of what farmers market is and what could look like in areas in the neighborhood. We pursue that. We have several partners, and one in particular that has expressed a desire to operate farmers market on a long-term basis. So we're excited about that opportunity. Next slide. Just a photo of community gardens and some of the yield from those gardens. Hopefully we're able to do something a little bit more expansive than just your typical community garden, and maybe utilize some of the vacant land to do a larger urban farm type. Next. And as I mentioned, those critical community improvements are very important in addressing some of the needs that have been identified in the neighborhood. We talked about improved health outcomes and access to transit and jobs. So we talked about the mobility hub. We talked about having medical space and indoor farmers market, as well as an outdoor farmers market. And you can see some of the outcomes of putting in place those assets in the community. And we think that would be go right along with the housing that's also being developed. Next. The hub, the neighborhood hub was part of our original CCI plan. We still plan to do that. The city has proposed to include that in the 2022 bond program. It's about a 28,000 square foot facility with, as you can see in the diagram to the left, with room to expand by 9,000 square feet. And so a lot of the services that are currently in the Martin Luther King Center would be relocated to the hub, as well as some additional services will be located at that facility. So we're excited about the hub and what it can provide for the neighborhood. Next. This is just a summary of what I just mentioned, approximately 28,000 square feet with an aquatic center, the Envision Center that's at Martin Luther King Center currently, our community action partner agencies, which provide a lot of social services, not only in Fort Worth, but throughout Tarrant County, along with a public library there, police and codes being in the facility, along with some multi-purpose room and meeting rooms. So one of the things that we can encourage you to do and would like to encourage you to do is really promote this amongst your neighbors, the importance of getting out and voting during the bond election, and also to vote for the aquatics part. That is a separate component, not under neighborhood services, but it would be part of our Parks and Recreation Department. And so a pool being at that facility is very important, and we want you all to get out and support that. Next. I mentioned before CCIs, and they're just really critical part of the physical community and economic development activities that's part of the overall Choice Neighborhood Grant. And those things that I mentioned before were basically summarized in that last slide. Any questions?
Thank you, Victor, for that overview. I'm not sure about our attendees, but I know I'm definitely excited about the pool that will be, swimming pool that will be coming to the area. Hopefully the bond is passed, right? And we are in hopes that swimming lessons come along with all of those things. We have questions in our chat box. And I'm going to, well, the questions kind of disappeared. I think Lou answered these questions, but the first,
yes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Lachelle, I did while Victor was speaking, I took the opportunity to answer a couple, so thought that would help.
Want to go ahead. The first question from Linda Porter: are you requiring MVE goals for the design service? And Lou, you said, yes, the project architect firm will be responsible for reaching out to MWBE firms to solicit proposals for services. Hopefully, Ms. Porter, that answered your question. Then we have a question, is commercial space in Hughes House all retail space? Lou, you said use for may include office, medical, cafe. But these things have not been finalized, but are under review by the team. Jonathan Morrison, are there any opportunities for Cowell Section 3 businesses goals to still be impacted? And Lou, you want to?
I don't believe so, although there are a couple of I understand there are a couple of other possible pieces of work that may occur, but with the current subcontractors that are on board, the project's coming to an end. So I wouldn't look to see much more impact there, but certainly look forward to impact on the Cowen Place development.
And I will say you can always find those opportunities on our website, which is www.stop6cni.org. I'll throw that plug in there. Sarah Brewer, I want to ask about commercial retail business opportunities for area Black-owned businesses in and around Cowen Place, Hughes House, etc. It's hard to see exactly where each building will be located.
I think what we can do is perhaps send out maybe a copy of the site plans that identify where the various phases are to be located and where the building or buildings in each of those phases are currently being planned. So that we can do, I think, in terms of providing a site plan. In terms of the question about commercial retail business opportunities for area Black-owned businesses, yeah, I think we're looking certainly for those opportunities to occur right now. As far as the commercial space for Hughes House, we're sort of in preliminary discussions about how the space might be utilized. I think I'm sure Fort Worth Housing Solutions is getting inquiries about the space, so that those discussions are underway, and we welcome people and businesses inquiring about the space and how they might be interested, if they are interested, in perhaps locating their businesses there, our offices there. So we welcome that information, and I suggest maybe Lachelle, at this point, in terms of receiving that information, maybe it would go through you just as a point of contact, and we can take it from there.
All right, we'll go ahead to, I do see the other questions. Let us go to the people section, and then we'll come back to those. So we are not ignoring those questions. Go ahead, Simeon, and give us a people update.
All right. Hello, everyone. Simeon Henderson. I serve as the Senior Project Manager for Urban Strategies, and I'm excited today to give you our first quarter update regarding our people plan. As you know, Urban Strategy, our team is dedicated to ensuring that our former Cabell Place residents are supported, empowered, and engaged throughout the community transformation process that you just heard Lou and Victor share. But we don't do this work alone. Can you go to the next slide, please? So we collaborate with subject matter experts throughout Tarrant County, the city of Fort Worth, as well as the Stop 6 community, to really focus on 3 areas: health and wellness, economic mobility, and education. And these efforts are really exclusive to our Cabell Place families. You can go to the next slide, please. So when we look at our first quarter results, we're really excited about some of our collaboration efforts that we've had. We've had opportunity to collaborate for 3 successful events. One was in January, where we focused on soft skills and resume building workshops that was open to the public. And we had great participation there. We also had an event in February that was a virtual job fair with over 11 vendors participated. This was another event that was open to the community, and we had 76 participants from the community at large. And then last Thursday, we had a financial empowerment workshop that we held in collaboration with Pathfinders that really provided financial empowerment for our community. So as a result of our collective efforts, this first quarter, we've had 8 residents that were connected to workforce development programs. 3 were connected to adult education opportunities. We had 3 that received jobs. That does not include the 2 paid internships that we created with Workforce Solutions for 18 to 24-year-old young adults. And then we had 1 resident who had opportunity to fulfill one of her lifelong dreams of owning her own business. And in January, she had opportunity to launch her own business. So as you see on the bottom slide here, where it says going into quarter 2, our focus will continue to be workforce development programs, financial empowerment, education opportunities, as well as job placement. So we're currently in the process of planning a vocational career and job fair later this month. That's really going to focus on construction trades and other growth sector opportunities. Can you go to the next slide, please? Similar with our health and wellness efforts, we had opportunity to collaborate to have 2 successful community events. One was in partnership with Texas Health Resource, as well as Fort Worth ISD and other partners, to have a COVID-19 drive-through registration. There was over 150 community participants that registered that day for the COVID vaccine. And we were really excited to play a role in that. And we also had an opportunity to collaborate with the YMCA to host a nutrition class that was really just focused on overall holistic health and wellness. And as a result, 11 of our residents were connected to health and wellness education, as well as fitness programming opportunities. Our efforts will continue to be focusing on health and wellness for our community, for our Cabell Place residents. Looking at our education opportunities, we also have connected 24 youth to dual generation programs. We had 3 children that were screened for developmental screening. And also we have our 6 seniors are on track to graduate, and we're supporting them with their career aspirations as well as educational aspirations after high school. So you'll see in our second quarter, we're going to create a youth panel with Fort Worth ISD where you can hear from our young scholars about their interests, what their experience has been like through COVID, in person and virtual. We are looking to host a pre-K and Head Start enrollment. Right now, the date is scheduled for April 14th at 10 a.m., where we're going to have a virtual opportunity for our families to take advantage of those opportunities, including summer camp that's coming up here real soon, as well as just connecting our middle schoolers to the high school career programs. And once again, like I said, summer's right around the corner. We're connecting those families to those resources as well. You can go to the final slide, please. So as you see, our families are located throughout Tarrant County. So our focus really going into quarter 2 as well is to make sure that we provide events or opportunities in person as well as virtual, as based on our families' comfort areas, based on their comfort level as well as their feedback. We have an opportunity to set up some satellite sites for programming. So you'll see more activities around that. As we look at, we have 3 zip codes that have high concentrations of households. We have the 76116 has 46 households. We have 76140 has 43 households, and 76116 has 25 households. So we're going to focus on those areas to really have set up sites where we can have more programming happening in those communities. Thank you for this opportunity to provide an update, and we look forward to sharing more great success stories in quarter 2.
Thank you, Simeon, for that update. Do we have any questions regarding the community improvement or our people update? You can put those in the chat box. If not, we will jump back into some of those questions that I think, Lou, people want to know how will they be notified of any proposals or the bidding process. So I'll let you jump in on that live. I know we've answered some questions offline, but if we can answer those particular questions, seem to be coming up. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, there are a couple of questions related to the proposed commercial space. One of them I answered, we've not really determined the criteria yet or process for selecting prospective tenants for that space. We're still in the early stages still of designing the space and figuring out site plan details, et cetera. So we'll be able to report on that at a future time. In terms of opportunities to bid on design side, we're working currently with an architect. There may certainly be opportunities for that architect to reach out to sub-consultants for work under that particular contract. Again, we're working those details out, and we'll be able to announce them in the near future.
How will the community be notified regarding the bidding process?
the bidding process for, I'm sorry, I'm trying to follow the question, but I don't see that one.
Let me see. It says, what will be the process in filling in commercial space? I believe you just answered that. I want to go back. Maybe we answered it offline from Gerald Brewer.
Michelle, can I jump in on that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to our audience, and thank you guys all for being there. We're working really hard to keep you informed of these developments as they happen. We are going to do 3 more of these community updates online this year. I've put the dates in the Q&A box. It'll be June 30th, September 29th, and December 1st. In addition to that, we have a stakeholders newsletter every other month. And we have really a wonderfully active Facebook community on the Stop 6 Choice neighborhood page. So I think Lachelle and her team and NBS, we're all trying to do everything we can to keep you informed in advance. Our website is stop6cni.org, and you can email us at stop6cni@fwhs.org, and we'll answer any questions.
All right, Lou, I think we did answer all of the questions. I know one of our former residents did ask how many units will be available at Cowen. So response was 174. We do ask that you check out on tomorrow. We do have a webinar on how to do business with Fort Worth Housing Solutions. And we will put that, that information is found on www.fwhs.org, as well as on our stop6cni.org website. So if you would like to participate with some more in detail of what the process looks like doing business with Fort Worth Housing, then go ahead and register and log in for that particular meeting on tomorrow. So any other questions, concerns, wonderings?
Michelle, we do have one more from Kylon Solomon. Are you looking to have community leaders and business owners provide their feedback?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Was that it, Kristen?
I believe so. And the answer is yes. Write us, email us, talk back to us on social media. I think one of the wonderful things about this whole effort is it's such a collaboration. Call Terry Attaway, she'll take your call. Right, Ms. Attaway? But yeah, we really want to know what people think along the way, as this moves forward, and really appreciate your time today.
Kristen, could you go back to the previous so we can see how to get in contact? Oh, no, it's not over. There we go. Email us at stop6cni@fwhs.org. Learn more about the upcoming projects at www.stop6cni.org. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we appreciate you for tuning in today, especially with your questions and concerns. Thank you. And we will see everyone back in June.
Hey, Lachelle, we will email out this presentation and a thank you note to everybody who registered or attended today as well.
Hey, Kristen, I just want to give a shout out to Councilwoman Gina Bivens in her absence today. A lot of this started because of all the hard work and effort she's done, as many of you know, on this call. So we want to be sure that somebody lets her know we gave a shout out to her today.
Lachelle,
Yes, sir.
this is Victor. I believe Brandon Bennett is online if we wanted to give the community an update about vaccine locations and clinics.
Sure. Go ahead, Brandon.
Boy, I'll tell you, I am impressed at all the work that everybody is doing. And Simeon, I mean, that's awesome that you've done the drive-through to get people signed up for the vaccines. I will tell everybody, and I need everybody's help on telling everybody else. If you have a Facebook page, if you have family over to visit, association, email chains, any place that you can possibly help us get the word out would be much appreciated on folks getting vaccine shots. There's a lot of information that we have available now. I will personally, and I will bring a doctor or nurse practitioner, a pharmacist, whatever it takes, to a Zoom meeting in your neighborhood or with your particular group if people have questions about the vaccines. Right now, we are close to exhausting the Tarrant County Public Health list. I think we're down to the last 20-some thousand people that are on the list. And this comes at a time where we're expecting to see our doses of vaccines double and triple. So we're getting 20,000 doses a week right now. So we will run out of people on the list in about a week, week and a half, if not sooner. So please encourage your family and your friends and everybody else to get signed up for the vaccines. If you have any questions, I'll make sure that my contact information gets out to you. We will be doing a number of follow-up vaccinations and vaccination clinics in Stop 6 and other locations that are inside the loop. If COVID did one thing good for all of us, it's helping the greater population understand that there are health inequities. And so not only will we address the inequities in addressing the vaccination part of this, but we anticipate that there'll be additional work that will come about to address the health inequities just on all health issues moving forward, which is really good news. And in fact, we are starting to see grant money materialize. We see the University of North Texas Health Science Center that they're working on a number of projects for inner city health equity. And I think this is a good complement to what we've worked on over the last couple of years when we worked on health deserts health deserts, but food deserts and blue zones and getting people to make better healthy choices in their life. So we're excited about that, but we really need to make sure we get the community vaccinated. The sooner we do it, the better off. And I know there's lots of questions and lots of concerns, so I won't eat up the rest of my time on that. I will also say that crime and grime kind of go together, and we know that there continues to be challenges in Stop 6. We were out here in the last couple of weeks. We did a big cleanup. We took some before pictures, we took some after pictures, and 7 days later, the areas that we cleaned up looked just like the before pictures before we cleaned up. So we understand that redevelopment and community leadership has a greater impact on litter in the long run than actually doing some of the cleanup that we do right now. But we'll continue with those efforts and continue to act on concerns that are raised by the community when it comes to environmental concerns. To that degree, there are still a lot of rentals in the neighborhood. There's some apartments in the neighborhood and some of the outlying areas. We've gotten through the ice storm or the winter storm with all the broken pipes. As much of a struggle as that was, the next round of issues that we're going to have to address are coming in the next 4 to 8 weeks with the warmer weather, because we'll start seeing mold and some of the effects of mold in some of the complexes that we're not able to get things dried out quick enough, or still have maybe some minor leaks behind the wall. And with the warmer weather, you're going to get a lot of moist air behind the wall, and we're going to start seeing some problems. So with that, I will leave it open to any questions or any follow-up on it. Most people know me. I am your code compliance director. I'm easy to find at City Hall. And my email address will make sure that we get that out to everybody if there's any follow-up on either COVID, public health, or code compliance, solid waste issues, anything like that. So thanks, Victor. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of airtime.
Thank you, Brandon. However, we did not want to end this meeting without giving our president of Fort Worth Housing Solutions, Mary Margaret Lemons, an opportunity to engage us, or did she leave us already? She may be gone, but definitely wanted to give a shout out to our fearless leader, Mary Margaret Lemons. We also have our senior VP, Brian Dennison, as well as Sonia Barnett. as we do continue to do the work of the Stop Six Choice Neighborhood Initiative. And again, thank you all, and we will be back on schedule June 30th and talk to you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you.